The views expressed on this episode of the Came to Believe Recovery podcast do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Recovery Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this episode should not be taken as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guest. KHLT and Take 12 Recovery Radio are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship. Well, greetings, my friends. I am the Monty Man from Take 12 Recovery Radio, and this is the Came to Believe Recovery Podcast. And now, here are your Came to Believe Recovery podcasting broadcasters to launch us forth on this week's show.
Good morning or afternoon or evening. My name is Alicia. Welcome to the Came to Believe Recovery Podcast. Today I'm here with the Monty Man. Tom is in travel from San Bernardino area from our retreat, going back home to New York.
He's going back home to the cold.
Yeah, I think his flight was canceled, so now he's kind of, I think he's finding another one. Because it's snowstorms over there.
There's not a whole lot that's
worse
than being stuck in an airport for hours and hours on end. You know, the seating is so comfy.
Yes. Well, but luckily his hotel, he's at LAX. His hotel is like right there. So I mean, if it's a long delay, unless he checked out, right, which he probably did. But I mean, there's things around. But yeah, I'm sure he's not happy right now.
Well, he doesn't he have like access to like lounges and stuff like that?
Yes, that is true.
Yeah,
like United Club or something.
Right.
Yeah, but still, right? If you're sitting there for who knows how long, but he'll get home eventually.
Yes, he will. So, Tom. Sorry about your luck, buddy.
Practice your patience. I know that's one of his pets.
Oh, my gosh. So did you recognize the little music intro there?
Was it I Love Lucy?
Yes, it was. I Love Lucy. Yep. Yes. Lucy and Desi Arnaz. The I Love Lucy show, which then later became the Lucille Ball show. And then it was no more after that. But that was, I think if I'm not mistaken, that was the first television show where they actually showed a married couple sleeping in the same room.
I think you're right. I heard that.
Yeah. They had two separate beds.
Yeah.
Right. And then I think maybe they may have been the first TV show where they actually ended up in the same bed, like a king size bed or something. I'm not sure about that.
I don't know.
Yeah, interestingly enough. Now you can't get away from promiscuity and...
Right, everything everywhere, not even in a bed.
Hey, I know. The on-call room at the hospital in Grey's Anatomy. And I'm like, oh, my word.
Yes.
It's not get a room. It's like, get an on-call room. Go away. So, what's before we get into some fun here, what is the topic this week, Alicia?
The topic is the 4 agreements.
Now,
and go ahead.
This is based on, these come from a book called The 4 Agreements, A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom by Don Miguel Ruiz.
Right.
And so we're not claiming that this is a Christian author, but not everything that is good and healthy is necessarily based in Christianity.
Right. We're taking the principles in this book, and it applies a lot to the steps, as you will see if you're not familiar with it. But yes, we're not saying that he's a Christian, because I don't think he is.
It sounds more like kind of a New Age philosophy, but there are some people that are so stringent about this that, unless it's got a fish on it or a cross embedded into the leather cover, they're not going to read it. And that's too bad, because I'm not saying we should ever compromise, but the Bible says every good and perfect gift comes from the Father of lights. So there's a lot of good, perfect gifts that aren't necessarily screaming Jesus.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, am I going to get in trouble? Maybe. I don't know.
What's coming to my head, and I might get in trouble for this, is the same thing with yoga. Like, people will not say yoga, do yoga, look at yoga because of its roots, which I understand.
Sure.
But it's a stretch class.
Yeah.
And
not all yoga.
But I know people that just don't, so that's fine for them. I teach it. And
yeah. But you're not teaching the spirituality portion of it in the all that. You're teaching the physical exercise. Yeah.
Yeah, it's stretch and flexibility. But some people will die on that hill.
I know.
And I think that's fine because I die on my hills too.
Yeah.
When it comes to food and exercise, yeah, I'm on a hill.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about food this week, right?
I know. Let's bring it back already. Come on.
It's hard not to, though. I mean,
I know.
Oh my goodness sakes. Okay, so let's see here. What do we got? Oh, I know.
Excuse me, everybody. Check it out. It's time for the icebreaker, and to deliver to you and the listening audience some useless and mindless information. Okay, here we go.
Thank you, Cecil.
I would say Tom would love this.
Yeah. Okay, so these are multiple choices. See how well you do, Alicia.
Okay.
Useless and mindless information here at the Cape to Believe Recovery Podcast. Okay, on Sunday in Florida, it is illegal for a single woman to do what? And here are your choices: skydive, take a pet cat for a walk on a leash, or do laundry at the laundromat alone. One of these is illegal on Sunday in Florida.
Laundry.
Laundry? Oh, I better get my... No, sorry. It's skydive.
Why?
Yeah. I don't know.
That is weird.
You have a law enforcement officer jumping out of the plane behind you. Pull over!
Right? You're arrested because it's Sunday.
Because it's Sunday. Okay, number 2. Washington State police officers get a half-hour class on how to what? And here are your choices: holster their firearm, duck for cover, or how to properly sit down.
Half an hour class, you said?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sit down.
Wow, you are right. Yes.
Because the other ones would take way more than a half an hour, but who needs a class on how to sit down? Yeah. Probably because they have all their gear on, right?
I think that might have something to do with it.
And they don't want to hurt their back, and they're on disability, and then they can't work.
They can still reach their stuff if they need to. And,
yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, yeah. All right, number 3. Who invented the word vomit? Here are your choices. Was it King Henry III, Larry the Cable Guy, or William Shakespeare?
The first one.
King Henry III? Nah, sorry. It was indeed William Shakespeare.
He invented it?
Yeah.
That word?
Vomit.
What did we say before? Throw up?
We said bleh.
Chuck. Wow. Ah.
All right, here's your last one. The last piece of useless and mindless information. How many Americans claim to have been abducted by aliens? 5,000, 25,000, or 6 million?
The second one.
25,000? Sorry.
Oh, I suck at trivia. The first one.
Nope. 6 million.
6 million?
Million, yeah.
I don't believe in aliens, so they're all lying.
You need to watch the documentary, The Age of Disclosure. It is very disturbing.
Is it about aliens?
Yeah, it's about alien cover-up and the government and stuff. It's made up of a lot of people that just got sick and tired of of keeping stuff to themselves, and they've come out of the shadows, so to speak. And whether you believe in that stuff or not, it is very, very interesting. Not as interesting as our show, though, here at Came to Believe Recovery. So let's close out useless and mindless information and get to the topic. Right after this little short break. Listen to this. Hey there, my friends. Thank you so much for tuning in to this week's show, a production of the world's oldest recovery talk and recovery music radio station, Take 12 Recovery Radio. But did you know that we have thousands of archive shows, recovery workshops, and recovery music, all available for you for fun and for free? So here's an idea. Right after this show, visit our website at take12radio.com and subscribe on any of the podcasting platforms listed there. Why not begin enjoying the best in recovery talk and recovery music, all at take12radio.com on your internet dial.
Everybody's talking at me, can't hear a word they're saying, only the echoes of my mind. I won't let you leave my love behind. No, I won't let you leave.
Yeah, everybody's talking at us. But what are they saying? Is it healthy? What are we saying to ourselves? Is there power in the words that we speak? There's a lot of voices clamoring for our attention, isn't there, Alicia?
Yes, there is.
Yeah. So this whole thing about these 4 agreements, again, based on the book by Don Miguel Ruiz, entitled The 4 Agreements, A Practical Guide to Personal Freedom. So you came up with this topic, right?
I did.
Yeah. So why 4 agreements? Why? What was your thinking about this?
I just feel when you look at them, I mean, it's the 4 agreements: be impeccable with your word, don't take anything personally, don't make assumptions, always do your best. Like ding, 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 ding. That's a step 10, right? And it coincides also with like the 4 absolutes. It's kind of like aiming for something. And then in my head, as I'm saying those, I can give examples exactly of like where I'm not doing that. So I think it's so in line with what we do and what we try to live, is living towards these things, not beating ourselves up when we don't. But I think it's good to look at. Like some people don't even, like when we teach retreats, some people have never done an inventory. They don't know.
Right.
So maybe some listeners are like, what do you mean? Look at myself. Well, here we go. We need to look at this stuff.
So, going back to your point about some people that have never done an inventory, somebody responded to one of the TikTok videos from last week that said, because Monday's show was Monday before last was on step 4 with Roger and Dion and myself, and they said, I'm paraphrasing here, that you just need to live clean and sober, and that's how you work out step 4. You don't need to go back and have this morbid reflection and dig up all this stuff and blah 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 blah. And to some degree, they're right. And I think the reason they think that's what we do is because so often that is how it was taught, to look at all the blood and guts of your past.
Right. Well, we're not saying you have to write 100 pages of
no
stuff, right? But we do need to look at our stuff.
Every major, I believe, I may be wrong here, but I think, but every major religion in the world has an element of self-reflection involved in it. You know what I mean?
I would hope so.
Whether it's the Torah, or whether it's Buddhism or New Age or Wiccan or Christianity, or there's going to be, you're going to find an aspect of self-reflection in there. I think even though some of that stuff gets twisted and turned around, it originally comes from biblical principles, and before the Bible was, before we even had the Bible, we've had God, we've had our Creator, right? I mean, you look at the garden, and there's self-reflection going on there, not in a positive way. They're running from God, trying to hide from God because they're reflecting on what they did.
Yeah.
But so let's tackle these. So the first one is be impeccable with your word. So I looked up the word impeccable, and it says high standard or faultless.
Which, right, sounds impossible, but we do need to look at it and aim for getting better, and like speaking with integrity. This says say only what you mean. Ouch. Who does that? I mean, there's just little white lies that I could spew out that I do. And it's like Tom says at retreats, what's a white lie? It's a lie.
Where did we ever get that? Was that? I think my earliest memory of that term was from my mom.
White lie?
Kind of a white lie, son.
Like, what is that? A baby lie? It's still a lie.
It's an untruth. If it's an untruth, that's a lie. Right?
Yeah. Well, I guess though we can interpret say only what you mean. Means like if I feel like I really don't want to do this thing, don't say it. Just keep it inside. It doesn't mean I have to tell them I don't want to go there with them. Being impeccable would be like, it's better for me just not to say something right now. Right?
Yeah.
Avoiding gossip and self-criticism. Boom, boom, boom. Right there is step 4. Right? Gossip.
Sure.
And self-criticism, self-condemnation, self-pity, all that self stuff.
Yeah, those are definitely not high standards.
No.
And we could definitely find fault with that. Saying what you mean. Sometimes, just because it's true, should you always say it?
No.
I have a friend of mine. He's a recovery comedian. His name's Mark Lundholm, and he says, if you're in an elevator packed with people and you pass gas, the truth is you're the one who did it. But should you say it? Maybe not.
No, just stand there. No. Some people might not agree with us, though.
Yeah, they might not. So you say your words create your inner world. The way you talk to yourself matters just as much as how you talk to others. Boy, isn't that the truth? Usually the way I talk to others is direct reflection on how I talk to myself many times. You know what I mean? But you said something about, off the air, you were talking about like complimenting yourself. I mean, how often do we say, "Wow, I look really good in this shirt"?
Right. We always go. I always
this
go
shirt's too tight.
negative.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's in line with one coming up. That's assumptions, right? Making assumptions.
Oh.
But this one is still on impeccable with your word. But like you said, your words create your inner world. The way you talk to yourself matters because, as we know from the Bible and Legacy Guide, our thoughts is where it all starts, and then our actions come straight out from what you're thinking. And then your behaviors, and then your identity, and everything else follows from here. So we have to be very aware of this. So if you're like blaming other people and keep doing something, look in here. This is where it's starting.
Yeah. So our recovery literature, in most 12-step circles, addresses that we need to change the way we think. It doesn't say change the way you speak. It says change the way you think. Because
Yeah.
you're right,
And then your
that's where it
speaking
starts.
will change.
And your speaking will change.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
that's an ongoing practice and learning, right? It's just ongoing. The more I read the Bible and look at things and learn from other people, it's just an ongoing process like everything else.
Yeah,
But
because our brains are constantly getting bombarded with, garbage.
yeah, so we
You,
need to
you don't
learn
have.
to like keep what we want and get rid of the other
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. You know, unless you live under a rock, you're gonna be infiltrated by negativity.
Yeah.
I mean, it just
Even if you're alone,
even
your
if you're alone,
own
right?
negativity or your podcast or
Right.
whatever is going to influence your
Yeah.
thoughts
At
to
the very
either
least, you're
positive or
going,
negative.
"Oh man, I'm alone."
Right, exactly. That's a perfect example. Or you could be like, "Ooh, I'm alone. I could read. I could have a period of silence. I could clean. I could take a nap. I could, or, oh, nobody likes me. I'm alone. Everybody hates me." And, so it's up to you of which direction to go in.
I told myself years ago when I was actively drinking, I said, I have an issue. I know I have an issue. There's a problem here. And I'll quit drinking the day I start drinking alone. But I'm never going to just drink alone because I love to be around other people. I love to be the guy that was buying all the booze and having everybody over and all that stuff. But the day I start drinking alone, I'll quit. And then one day, I'm
You're
sitting
alone.
on the steps of of a cabin that I lived in one of the most beautiful places on earth, Yosemite National Park. I was working there, and I'm sitting on the steps, and I'm drinking a 6-pack of beer, and nobody wanted to drink with me anymore. And I realized I'm drinking alone, and I didn't quit.
I was going to say, did you remember what you said before?
Yep, but I didn't quit. So there was definitely a lot of negative self-talk going on for a very long time in that arena. But just because you're abstinent from something doesn't mean you change your thinking.
Because you could white knuckle it and be angry about it and blame everybody else and still
Yep.
just be like crazy.
Indeed.
Then you're, dry drunk, right? They call that.
Dry drunk, yeah. So be impeccable with your word. Number 2, don't take anything personally. Anything?
Ooh, that's a hard one.
What others say and do is about their reality. So don't take anything personally. See, now this is where the yeah buts show up, right? Yeah, but you don't know what they said to me. This hurt deep. They really, really, really hit a nerve here. And you're telling me not to take that personally? It was personal. What do you say to that person?
That's a good point, actually. You know what? Because what if it is personal? But I guess the layer deeper, because we know if we live in 10, 11, and 12, then we can have a conversation with them. We can be alone for a minute with God and pray about these resentments or whatever we have. What can I learn from this? All those kind of things.
Yeah. Well, I think most of the time when somebody is character assassinating you or me, that it is most of the time probably more about them than you. You're just in the way, or you're the target, or you're the object of their attack. For whatever reason, it's probably not nearly as much about you as you think. Also,
But then that's a good point, because what if what they're saying is true and it hit a nerve?
yeah,
So I'm taking it personally. Well, good. I should be taking it personally because it's true.
yeah. So there was this guy, we'll just call him Rich, 'cause I think that was his name.
Big, tall guy, just kind of intimidating, big dude, right? And he just was not very nice. He was just kind of a mean butt. And he went to a 12-step meeting that I attended for a long time years ago. And every time we interacted with each other, he was just ripping on me. And I finally didn't know how to respond to that. I internalized it. You know what I mean? I took it very seriously upon myself. And I went to my sponsor and I said, hey, brother, I said, this guy keeps doing this and he's always calling me out on stuff and criticizing me. And he says, all right, Monty, what I want you to do is the next time he does that, I want you to simply say, thank you. I'll consider that. And I said, okay, I could do that. And he goes, no, wait a minute. I want you to really consider it. And I was like, what? And so he had a point, maybe he's right. Maybe his delivery and approach isn't.
Well, can you give me an example of one thing that he might have said to you?
Yeah, he told me that I should probably keep my religious views to myself in the meeting.
Okay.
Right. And that was one of the things. And I didn't think that I was being boastful or in any way, shape, or form about myself being a believer. Right. I really didn't. But when I stopped and considered that, I found that, maybe I was being a little condescending. You know what I mean? With it. But that was one of the things he said. I remember I had a convertible at the time, and he just walked up to my car and he goes, "This is a stupid car."
Oh my God.
Like,
Did you say, I'll consider that? Thank you very much.
No, I told him something else I won't repeat.
Wow.
But he was just like that. Okay. But see, people that are like that, there's something going on with them.
Well, that shows his character.
It does. But it doesn't always soothe you. When somebody says, just consider what they said and say thank you, But what I learned from that was what it ended up doing, because I ended up being able to respond that way to him on a number of occasions. And what it did, it stopped him from doing it. Because every time he said something negative to me, I told him
You
thank
just kind
you.
of,
It's like the bully, They don't have any ammo anymore. I mean, what do you do with that?
And then if we get all upset with someone like that, which I have done that, we're the ones that are hurting and all crazy, and he's like moving on to the next person.
Right.
Sheesh. So this is funny. ChatGPT, I know some people love it, some people hate it, knows me and my ways with food and exercise and blah, 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 blah. So it whatever you input, he's a he in my head. He'll input my life into what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So with don't take things personally, this is so funny because it says when you don't take things personally, you conserve enormous emotional energy. This applies not just socially, but to scale fluctuations. It's talking to me. Digestion changes or workout data.
Wow.
The scale isn't judging you, it's reporting data. Isn't that hilarious?
Wow, that is really
It wouldn't come up for you, but this always puts in these little things that it knows about me already. So it's like, don't take it personally. It's data.
So an inanimate object like a scale can
I
really
take it
irritate
personally.
you, right?
If it goes up 2 pounds, I'm a little
You're like, "You
edged.
stupid scale. You stupid."
Yes, but that's a big step 10 thing that I'm currently in. I mean, who doesn't know that? It's a thing.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Well, and I wonder, I'm thinking about inanimate objects, getting irritated at inanimate objects. I mean, how often do we take those things personally? Like somebody's making a bagel in their toaster and it burns their stupid toaster. I mean, or
Yes.
the guy is playing pool and he misses, and you go, stupid pull cue, it's warped. You know, I mean, we blame, right? We blame inanimate objects, like the TV. Let's start yelling at the TV. Those people can't hear you.
Yes. Don't take things personally. Unless it is personal, then look at it. If it's hurting you or like you're taking it personally, I would say, like, look at it. There's probably a little bit of truth in there, and that's why you're getting upset.
Yeah.
So look at it. It might be just a teeny little thing, like, oh, yeah, like Monty said with the talking about religious or Christian things in a meeting.
Yeah.
Even though 90%, it's fine, whatever. You can talk about what you want.
Right.
But if you're doing it in a condescending way,
Right.
that needs to be looked at.
Yeah, definitely. It's all in the approach. My wife would tell our one son, who was Mr. Grumpy Pants when he was coming home from school, you know, it's all in the approach. Let's see here. Oh,
This is our big one for us.
Don't make assumptions. Do not make assumptions.
Yes. So this is like, why don't we just assume the best? I always assume the worst. Why is that?
Do you think human beings are naturally pessimistic?
I would say yes, but I don't.
Is that
I don't know.
pessimistic to say that?
Yeah, right. Because I feel like I do assume if I lean on one side, it's usually on the worst. Like, they don't like me. I could have done that better. I shouldn't have said that. Instead of saying, everybody, they love me. I'm good. I did the best I could. It's great. Where do you make assumptions? Or where have you made assumptions? I do it every day, I think.
Yeah, I'm glad that Marcia isn't here right now because she'd be able to tell you. Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, I even assume
Hard.
like
There's so many areas that I do that with. It's hard to pick one.
I know.
It's good. Okay. I'm going to tell myself.
Go for it.
Getting ready for church. Oh, that one gal's going to be leading worship, and she always picks the same songs. It's going to be.
So you're assuming
there may be
that's
some
gonna
truth in that, but my attitude towards that truth isn't helping me any. I'm already setting myself up. You know, I'm going to be disappointed. And so I probably will be, right?
Yeah, we get what we look for.
Here's one. So today's Tuesday. Tonight is Life Group.
Oh yeah.
Taco Tuesday.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's gonna be so I got a text. We got a text the other day. It said the person that's bringing the food is saying, "I'm gonna make taco soup," and I'm like, "Oh God,
That sounds good.
taco soup
With chicken and
you're throwing it? Taco soup?
tortilla soup. Chicken tortilla soup.
Why does it have to be taco anything?"
Yeah, that's a hill you need to die on.
I know. I'm assuming it's going to be horrible, you know. And so, what do? Maybe when you make an assumption like that mentally, and then you taste it, and it's like it is horrible. But what if I didn't know that and I tasted it? It might taste great. I don't know. I'm bringing my own food though. I'm telling you right now.
That's what I do all the time. People think I'm crazy.
You know, or the thing is, okay, we're gonna go to a out of town meeting, you know, which people in recovery like to do that once in a while. Let's go to this club, the Alano Club down the street. Now, you know, every time we go there, it's like it's toxic. It's, you know, I make assumptions like that all the time.
Those are good examples. I do it more so with looking at people's faces, usually my husband. And if it's just a little off, I feel I'm in trouble. I'm bad. I did something wrong. So that's
Really?
codependency.
So it's
Hello.
about you.
But yeah, even if he says and usually I'm right, but sometimes I'm not. Even the tone of his voice is just a little flat. I know there's something I did that annoyed him. So, but that's making assumptions. But right here it says ask questions, communicate clearly, and avoid mind reading. So I could say, honey, did I do something? I'm assuming this because your voice kind of is in a tone that I usually read as negative. So
Yeah.
I mean, I could do that, but instead I just like I'm in trouble, and I like just act weird, and it's so stupid.
So when you get into a conflict, even if it's a minor one with your husband, do you want to solve it right away so it's done with, or do you want to hold on to it?
No, I want to hide and run and bury it.
Oh. And I don't know if it's a guy thing, but
He wants to get to it right now.
yeah. It's like it's interesting because so guys can be playing basketball, for instance, and a guy elbow his buddy by mistake, give him a black eye, and for about 5 minutes they want to beat each other up, and then 10 minutes down the road they're playing basketball with each other again.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's forgotten, right? Women though.
No, she'll remember that for life. She'll bring it up in 10 years. Remember when you did this?
I wonder why that is. Maybe we guys just don't want to deal with it. We just want to,
Yeah. Yeah. So
Sometimes
that
we need to deal
is
with
a
it.
big, this is probably the biggest one for me, which is like ask questions, communicate clearly. That's just so uncomfortable, right? Because it brings it right up in my face, and I'm just.
But don't
that
you think
fear
that when you
comes up.
communicate clearly that issues are solved quicker?
Totally. And I've done it, and I know that, and still I fall back into, I don't want to talk about it.
Fight or flight.
Yeah. And it's just like I'm bad. They're going to leave me. I'm going to be abandoned. I'm all those
Wow.
childhood trauma
Yeah.
wounds like coming up, and I can talk about it. I know it's happening, and I still do it.
Yeah. Interesting. So here you say assumptions create unnecessary suffering, and see, that, right?
Exactly.
Know
Because I
that.
could just bring it up and say, are you mad? And if he is, then we can talk about it. Or he'll say, no, I'm not. Then it's over. But no, I kind of fester and move and.
So why do you think people avoid, men and women, why do you think people avoid working on the solution with each other instead of, why do they avoid that? I'm thinking about former bosses that I've had that maybe if I had just sat down with them and just was honest with them, and, I'm thinking of this one guy because he would gaslight me, and somebody told me, he says, would you be interested in having a discussion with him? I go, why? Every time I have a discussion with him, he gaslights me every time. I'm just done. I'm not doing it anymore. And I ended up quitting that job because I wasn't going to put up with his, anymore. But it was like, there was definitely an avoidance. I don't want to do this anymore. Is that okay? Or should we always be willing to sit down and have a chat?
Well, that's a good question. And I guess it depends, obviously, on the circumstances. If it's somebody like in your family, like when you said that, I thought of a family member, and it's like, I can't really, I could, and I have, not talking to them for years, but it's more
Wow.
boundaries, I think,
Yeah.
right? Setting boundaries, maybe trying to approach that conversation another way, or like you did, that was your solution, get another job.
Yeah.
If they're truly toxic, it's really hard to change that.
Yeah, I did. I'm thinking about this one incident where I did sit down with him, and I confronted him about the way he was talking to me. And this is what he said. He said, "Do not ever approach me in that manner again."
Ooh.
Okay.
So he totally did exactly what you just said that he did.
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
That was your answer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See, all this stuff it involves other people, right?
I know people are people-y. That's the problem.
Yeah. So my oldest boy, Cameron, we were sitting. And this is so funny because you've heard me say he's my youngest son. He's all business, and Cameron is Larry the Cable Guy, right? He just loves everybody and everything. But he's the one that says, you know what? I just can't stand people.
Your son said this?
Yeah. And I said, but you're so lovable. Everybody. And he said yesterday he was over and he goes, people generally really like me. And I go, yeah, they do.
That's how I feel.
And he goes, I don't like people.
I don't like people. I have a shirt that says I love coffee and maybe 3 people on my shirt.
Right.
I also have one that says, fun fact, I don't care.
Wow.
But people, I mean, I'm pretty likable. I mean, I don't know if that's prideful, but I'm pretty likable. On the Enneagram, which could be another whole bad topic to bring up. Whatever. I'm a 9. I can make balance with anyone.
Don't put steak in the Enneagram thing.
I know. But that part feels real. But people like me. I can get along with people, but deep inside, I'm probably annoyed. Sorry. And I'm sure they're annoyed with me. So that's life, I guess. But let me give you another silly thing here, because this guy, ChatGPT, knows me about making assumptions. He says higher carbs means I'm losing control. He thinks I'm making an assumption about that.
Oh.
And not necessarily eating higher carbs does not mean I'm losing control. It could mean something else. But isn't that interesting?
It is very interesting. Okay, so how does ChatGPT know this about you?
Because I ask questions all the time and it remembers every single thing that I have. So when I'm talking to it, it'll say, well, because you're lean and 56 years old and work out this much and your body fat is this, it puts everything together for me.
And I don't want to go down a rabbit trail, but let's do it just for a second anyway.
Okay, let's do it.
So couldn't this be dangerous? I mean,
yeah, but why do I care he knows my weight?
Well, here's the thing. I'm thinking about young people in particular that are dealing with identification issues as they grow up and go through puberty and all that. It's just a natural part of learning who you are. Mm-hmm. They are bombarded so much with negativity and they take it so personally because they haven't learned how to wear any kind of armor yet, and then ChatGPT comes along and starts telling them things, well, you're just, you're overly sensitive and maybe you should just stay home today. And
I don't think you would say that.
But I don't know. It just, isn't it kind of iffy to trust this thing?
It's been spot on for me.
Really?
I mean, yes.
Okay.
And I ask questions about the Bible. It knows everything about Sermon on the Mount, Book of James, and it's like spot on. Yeah, but I'm sure it could go wonky if I went into different wonky areas. But I mean, I don't, because this is my life.
So
Food, exercise.
When it says to you, Alicia, my friend, it's okay for you to eat one chocolate eclair today.
It will not say that ever. Because I've told it I've had eating disorders. I've had 8 years of sobriety, and I had eating disorders for 33 years. It knows that.
What if somebody comes along while you're asleep and starts talking to it as if it's you?
I just had 10 cookies and blah, 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 blah. It would be like, that's not like you, Alicia, because in the past, it knows my food. It knows everything.
Yeah, you wake up and it's blinking. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. But I get it. I mean, it is scary. Like,
It's a little
People
creepy.
will say, your phone knows everything, and then. Well, I'm not doing anything wrong, so I don't care.
So my Alexa screen just popped up. It says, "Would you like to interact with Alexa right now?" It just says that right now.
Yeah. No.
Yeah. No. And see,
Well, Alexa probably knows a lot about you,
listen, here's the thing. The mute button is on.
and she still heard you.
Yes. I don't trust that stuff. But I have
Interesting.
one. Actually, I have two.
All right. So we have one more agreement.
One more. Okay.
This is a big one, too. They're all big.
Always, that's a big word. Do your best. This agreement protects you from perfectionism or laziness. How does it protect you from perfectionism? I mean, it doesn't seem like a contradiction a little bit.
Protects you from perfectionism. Because I could let's see. Let's try to answer that. Always do your best. Well, if a certain thing was my best, I really, truly, I did my best. Like today, I taught yoga. There was 2 people in the back that were struggling so bad, but I did my best. But I mean, someone could see that and go, that was not a perfect class. But I mean, I did my best with coaching and modifying, and they were just that was their first time, extremely overweight. They could not hold themselves on, they had no muscle. So I did my best, and I talked to them after, but it was it wasn't perfect.
Yeah. Because
Something
you
like
can
that.
do your best and the outcome isn't necessarily.
Oh, totally.
your
Like
satisfaction.
say with us speaking, we did our best to teach step 2.
Right.
And there's people that are just going to be mad and walk out and blah, blah, blah. That's not perfect.
So have you ever, talking about that, when doing these 12-step retreats, have you like questioned yourself afterwards because people weren't responding the way you were hoping they would? Saying, maybe I missed something. Did I forget this, or did maybe I should have said it this way?
If I don't prepare and practice, and that's my own deal. If I don't practice and prepare and know my timing and look at little things beforehand,
Yeah.
which I always do.
Yeah, me
But
too.
sometimes I feel like I didn't do it enough. Maybe I should have done it one more time, because I just didn't. It came out fine,
Yeah.
but I just felt a little clicky or something.
Yeah.
So, but then, I mean, that wasn't my best. Maybe I didn't have time to go over it a 5th time. So that's where perfectionism has to
Okay.
go away.
What do you think about the quote, the good is the enemy of the best? What do you think about that? Do you think that's a healthy thing to say, or do you think that
Is that the quote? Good is
good is the enemy of the best? So if you're doing something good,
good.
but it's not the best, then you're not really doing it right, kind of thing.
Well, I think, again, that takes awareness and honesty. Like, was that really my best effort? Like with this yoga class, maybe I could have walked over there and helped them silently. I mean, that could have been a
okay to
thing.
critique yourself and, see
And what could I
maybe-
do next time
Sure.
to be better?
As long as you're not beating yourself up in that critique.
Yeah, which I didn't. So that's growth, because in the past I could have been, I'm not going to teach yoga anymore. Those people couldn't do it and they're so stupid. But no, I had empathy. I felt bad. And
Yeah.
they were not strong. And it's fine.
Yes,
I just said,
yes.
keep coming. You'll
Right.
get stronger. You will. And they took that positively. And
Oh,
I
good.
took it as a compliment. Like, they didn't leave. They could have left
Yeah,
halfway
'cause
through. But
there's nothing more discouraging than being trapped in your own body and not able to do what you really want to do, and other people are seeing that. You know what I mean?
and it's embarrassing, and it's thank
for them
goodness
to
they were
stick it out-
together. They were friends and they were
Yeah.
together. Thank goodness, because I mean, yeah, it could have been really bad, but they were smiling after. I mean, I
Oh,
was
that's
really proud of them.
Well, that says something about your technique too, though. Because
Yeah.
another instructor could have just
Ignored them.
went home and cried their eyes out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Or just kept going and didn't give any modifications and could have just ignored them. I mean, I used to do that in the past. This is going to sound so bad. If this was me like 5 years ago, I would have made the class harder just to show them how weak they are.
Wow.
I would have done that.
You would have been like, what, Gordon Ramsay or
Totally.
Hell's Kitchen or
Like, you are weak and you can't even do a plank or whatever. Yeah. But I didn't do that today. So I'm.
One of my favorite nighttime shows is a show called Gutfeld. And it's a bunch of talking head conservatives, right? And he had a guy on, he's had him on before. He's the guy that does the TV show Bar Rescue, I think it's called, where he goes in and he kind of like Gordon Ramsay does, but he goes in and he bars at nightclubs and stuff that are failing. He goes in there and he tells them why they're failing. And I mean, and he just unloads on them. You know, what are you, a moron? Look at the temperature on this grilled cheese sandwich is supposed to be this and not this. You're going to kill people, you stupid idiot. I mean, he just rips on him. And he was saying on Gutfeld the other day, he said, you know, you almost can't do that anymore. The networks won't let you treat people that way anymore. And it's, you know, people are wimps and we ought to be able to just rip on them because that's the only way they're going to learn. And I'm like, really? I don't know. I never learned by being yelled at. I just didn't. You know what I mean?
That's true. And that's a good lesson for us to not like beat ourselves up either.
Right.
It doesn't work. It makes you worse. It could make you worse and go deeper into your stuff.
Yeah. But so in this you say it says also this agreement protects you from being lazy. So always doing your best. So I guess if you're always striving to improve, laziness really doesn't find any room in that, does it?
Yeah,
So
because you're
what do you
always
think-
doing your best.
What do you think causes laziness? Do you think that physical exhaustion may contribute to it, or do you think some people are just so unmotivated, or they think they have to be motivated before they can actually do something? We know that that's not healthy, right? Waiting to be
Right.
motivated.
That doesn't happen. You have to be committed. Motivation is not a feeling.
You have to act right to be right. You got to act as if, keep moving.
Yeah.
Why-
I think it has so much to do with our upbringing. And if we were never pushed, here we go with the food. If we're eating carbs all the time, we're overweight, we're diabetic, or we're whatever, we're going to be used to that lifestyle and it all ties in, and our negativity. And if we were like put down our whole life, I think all of it is part of laziness.
Yeah.
Or any defective character. Maybe it's just they think they're not good enough. It could be just that. Or it could be when they do it, people criticize them and they had a mom that they could never do it right. So, I mean, it could be so many different things.
Yeah. I know when I'm being lazy. I know it.
Me too.
I'm like, I don't want to do something, and I'll make an excuse to not do it. And then deep down inside, I'm like, you're just being a butt.
Well, that's step 10, right? So
It
then we
is.
can like get up, or we can like, okay, then what am I going to do next time? I mean, there's ways to talk about it and be honest about it.
Well, we're out of time. Wow,
Okay.
that went by quick.
That was a good one to look
Yeah.
at these 4 things and see where it is coming up, because it is coming up in everybody's lives. It is.
Yeah. And so I just wanted to say, so it's called 4 agreements. Okay, so when you make an agreement, it's usually with somebody, right? So these are agreements you make and commit to yourself. True? Mm-hmm. Yeah. And if you fall down, you know, one of the best ways not to stay down is not to beat yourself up, but get yourself up and
Right.
put
And you
one
can
foot
look
in the
like,
other.
look at these 4 things and see, well, I fell down. So did I make an assumption? Am I doing my best right now to get back up?
Right.
I mean, you could put them in every situation in your life.
Yeah. All right. Closing thoughts, Alicia. How would you like to close this up?
I would say look at the 4 agreements. You don't even have to get the book. Google 4 agreements or ChatGPT, and think about what it actually says, because some of these things get us in ruts, and in our world it could lead to right back to fueling our addictions.
Yeah. Yeah. Amen.
So look at them and do step 10 to get out of them.
Step 10.
Which
Good
is
word.
continue to take personal inventory. When you were wrong, promptly admitted it.
Promptly.
Not like me and hiding from conflict.
All right. You may not be able to accomplish a lot of these things left to your own devices, listeners. You just may not be. But I have a friend that can help you. Which leads us right into this song by Thomas Mack. Now, Thomas Mack, he's a country singer. And I love this guy because I stumbled upon him online, and he was making this statement. He said, this song that he was about to sing, he said the country music industry said, it'll never sell. And he goes, I'm not doing it to make money. I'm doing it to glorify God. And I thought, right on. I want to listen to this guy. And so I picked up this song, and it's entitled Friend Who Can. And then I'll come back with my closing thoughts. Here's Thomas Mack.
I can't take your broken heart and mend all of the shattered parts. I can't help you find the strength to stand, but I got a friend who can. I can't calm the raging seas and walk the waves of Galilee. I can't reach out with a saving hand, but I got a friend who can. He is love, he is hope, he is all that you're feeling inside. When the night breaks you down, he is hailing. I can't offer you a perfect plan, but I got a friend who can. I can't make a blind man see, no, I can't give you all the strength you need. I can't wash away your sin like sand, but I got a friend who can. I can't take a wandering soul lost on a broken road and lead him to the promised land, but I got a friend who can. Hope, he is all that you're feeling inside. When the night breaks you down, he is hailing. I can't offer you a perfect plan, but I got a friend who can. Plan, but I got a friend who can. I can't offer you a second chance, but I got a friend who can.
Staying true to healthy agreements you make with yourself is one of the most powerful forms of self-respect. When you follow through on the commitments you set, whether it's getting more rest, setting boundaries, or choosing habits that support your well-being, you reinforce the belief that your needs actually matter. Well, today we have touched on 4 agreements: being true to our word, not taking everything so personally, not making assumptions, and always doing our best. Now, each time we honor these agreements, we strengthen our emotional resilience because we're proving through action that we can rely on our own word. There's also a deeper ripple effect. When you consistently show up for yourself, you create a life that aligns with your values instead of reacting to pressure, impulse, or old patterns. Healthy agreements like these keep you oriented toward the version of yourself you're trying to grow into. Over time, those small, steady choices accumulate into meaningful change. You're not just keeping promises, you're shaping your identity, building momentum, and creating a life that feels intentional rather than accidental. It's something to think about. Came to Believe Recovery strives to create and promote opportunities for life-changing spiritual experiences for individuals and families suffering from all forms of addiction. For more information, help, and support, visit cametobelieverecovery.org. I'd like to thank you for allowing me to be your host on this episode of the Came to Believe Recovery podcast. And I would encourage you to like, bookmark, and subscribe to this show. When you do, you will join the Take 12 Recovery Radio family and will be notified of all of our recovery-focused shows throughout the week. Until our next broadcast, when we provide the essential spiritual tools needed to thrive by sharing our experience, our strength, and our hope through our stories of how we came to believe.
This has been a production of Take 12 Recovery Radio.
Yeah, kitty, kitty, kitty. Meow.
Woof, woof.
This has been a Chicken and a Pig production.